So if you've got a comment or a question, go ahead. We've got about 15 minutes here.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is your call. Without your feedback, without your thoughts and comments, we don't learn anything. So help us do our job better for you. So any thoughts, comments, questions, aha moment.
And without feedback, I end up thinking I'm brilliant.
Oh, so go ahead. Only in your own mind, Bob.
Well, while we're waiting for people to unmute, I'll have to step in and say, of course you're brilliant, Bob. But we can't say that too loudly. It might give you the big head.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's hard to swallow as we speak.
I was afraid of that, Anna. Those qualifying questions that you brought in today are really, really great to help us get our own minds clear as we're going through. And,
Absolutely.
I believe I've got you unmuted.
Hello?
Hello, who is it?
It's Shirley.
Hi, Shirley.
Oh, okay. Well, a little earlier in this, you were talking about the 6 to 10 times to discuss with the prospect before they make a purchase.
Yes.
And way back when I was doing direct sales, door-to-door type of thing, we were always told 5 to 7 times. The prospect has to see what it is that you're doing or hear about it 5 to 7 times before they're going to decide that they're going to purchase. So you might as well follow up yourself.
Absolutely. And, you know, Shirley, one of the best ways of knowing how advertising is bombarding us is take a look at radio commercials or television commercials. In a 1-hour television program, look to see how many times you see the same commercial.
Oh, absolutely.
They do that for a reason, ladies and gentlemen, because in that 1 hour, they want your subconscious mind to be drenched with that 30-second commercial of buying that product.
They know you can't go to the fridge that many times, so they got you.
That's right. That's right. And Shirley, the other thing of real importance is that many huge advertising companies now have actually hired psychologists and psychiatrists so that they can teach the advertisers what to use to get to our subconscious mind, to get into our buying power.
Oh, yes. And when you're doing it all yourself, you have to be your own psychiatrist.
You got it, girl.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you for that, Shirley.
Thank you.
Who's next? Who's got a question or a comment? Star 5, don't be shy.
Rick had his hand up earlier. Rick, I've got you unmuted. Did you still have a question, or did they answer it?
It was pretty much covered, thanks. I just wanted to compliment them on the training, and I can see where I'm going to be putting some of this to work for me tonight.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Rick.
And what you find, Rick, is, you know, we never want to get too grand about things that changed our lives, but this book really has. As soon as you read this book and you embrace what Harry Brown is trying to say to us and how to approach to people, you can throw all your scripts away. I'm not saying throw away your questions. You know, you want to have a list of questions for when the, when you run out of ideas or when the conversation flags. But with that one goal in mind, find out what people want and help them get it. It just simplifies everything. Everything else falls into place. Your shoulders drop, and so will the shoulder prospect.
And the scripts are important just to familiarize yourself with what you want to say. But after that, the most important thing is to listen to the person that you are engaging in the conversation. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you hone your listening skills, you will always have the right question to ask.
I can think of 2 or 3 things that make the phone really heavy. One is having an agenda of selling something. So if you find out what people want and help them get it, that removes that weight. And the other reason the phone gets heavy is because for some reason we get afraid of the person on the other end.
rejection.
Well, yeah, you get afraid of rejection. With this, you get no rejection, though. If you're only trying to find out what the other person wants,
Exactly.
there can't be any rejection.
Exactly, because they're telling you what they want. There's no rejection at all, Bob. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. And so, am I getting brilliant again?
You are brilliant.
The other thing that makes people afraid is that they get afraid of the actual person on the other end of the line, on the other end of the phone. Don't forget that person is just like you. It's just, we're all just regular people. And just imagine that you're just phoning up somebody just like you. There's nothing magical about anybody. There's nothing magical about you. There's nothing magical about them. So there shouldn't be anything intimidating about anybody.
Right, exactly. We're all putting our pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah, last time I tried it any different way, I hurt myself.
Thanks for that, Rick.
Anybody else with a comment or a question? Does anybody have
name? But we've got somebody from Grand Junction, Colorado that has their hand up and they're muted.
Howdy, Colorado.
This is Gringo True.
All right.
So when you get back to people like 5 or 6 times, don't you have become a pain in the rear end for them if they've already told you that they don't want to use one of your products?
Well, here's the thing, Gringo. What you're doing in that amount of time is you're building your relationship. So it doesn't necessarily mean that each time you're going to go after them and say, I want to sell you the product, I want to sell you the product. What you're doing is you're getting to know them. You're trying to find out what they want and then give it to them. You're also trying to find out a little background information about them, and they're doing the same with you. So it's basically as if you were at a party. Tom Big Al Schrader did this with me, and this to me really put things into perspective. Think of yourself at a cocktail party. How would you go about meeting someone that you didn't know at a cocktail party? Well, you'd probably introduce yourself, you'd probably shake hands, you'd probably ask them what brought them to the party, who they know at the party. Once you got those things out of the way, you'd probably want to know a little about them. Are they married? Do they have kids? Those kinds of things. You know, you might be walking by the table of food and ask them what they like there. Those kinds of things. So you're just getting to know each other. It may be 2 or 3 or 4 calls before that question comes up of products or services or an opportunity.
But your question was after they've already said they don't want your product or opportunity. Well, then, as Tom would say, you don't have a volunteer there. If they've said no to what you have to offer, and that's part of the process. You have to find out, first of all, if they have a problem, do they want to solve it? Is it the kind of problem that you can solve, and do they want to solve it with you? So they've answered no to the most important question, question number 4. So in that case, you certainly do not want to go back and pester them 5 or 6 times more. But you should conduct yourself in a way that always leaves the door open. And if you say, Bob, what is it that you're looking for? So if you tell me that you're looking for axe handles and I'm selling briefcases, there's no way I'm going to push when we're selling briefcases onto you because you're not going to chop down any trees with a briefcase. But I've done it in such a way to say, okay, well, that's okay. Now that I know what you want, I know that I can't help you. But my cousin Jimmy has the best axe handles in town, and he's got a sale on right now. So I've not pestered you. I've been polite and said, what are you looking for? I know a guy who does, and there's a deal on. So we've left that door open. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't send you, with your permission, I couldn't send you information about sales on luggage. Who knows? You might be going on a cruise.
Or you might have a referral.
That's right. And so because I have treated you kindly and not pestered you, you might send your cousin Lucille, who's looking for luggage, over to me to buy luggage. And so I'm just thinking about the mentoring for free system. When somebody downloads the book, they may have no interest whatsoever in your help. I don't need any help in my business, but the drip campaign, the 60 emails that go out from the Mentoring for Free system, keep them in the loop.
Or the 10 live calls may interest them.
That's right.
So you may become that professional pointer and point them in the direction of something that they do need, and in the same breath, you might really like this person and you might want to continue to be a friend. So you can still build that relationship, and when the timing is right, they may come back to you and say, hey, last year I said I wasn't interested, but things have changed now, and I'm coming back to you for more help.
And actually, the Mentoring for Free system is a perfect example. We send out a notification as often as we can about the Saturday night call, or maybe about this call, or some skills webinar that we might be doing. And we will get a response from someone that 2 years ago would not answer the phone to us. We look back in the notes and we say that we've left 3 messages. Usually we give up at 2. Anna will give up at 3 because she's a much nicer person than I am. But after 3 messages, we don't want to be a tormentor, a pessimist to somebody, but we'll just let the emails work. Now, 2 years later, we'll make an announcement about some event, and a person that we haven't been able to get hold of for 2 years will all of a sudden say, hey, that looks good, give me the information. So you just never know, but you've got to leave the door open. Good question, Bob. Thank you very much.
Can I follow up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, I have about 4 people that have expressed to me that they are in pain in some way. So do you try to build a relationship? I already have a relationship with them. Or do I just say, something like, do you want to just think about it?
That's the number one question I would be asking, because unless they want to do something about it, you, again, would only be fire hosing them, because if all they want to do is complain about their aches and pains, but they're not willing to do anything about it, then you're wasting your breath and you're wasting their time. So absolutely imperative that you ask, would you like to do something about it?
And that's part of too. In Michael Oliver's series, do they have a problem? Yes. Do they want to do something about it? Maybe not.
Yeah, okay. We don't have a problem because they're in pain, but they probably don't want to do something about it. With a natural product like myself.
That's it.
You cannot force pain relief on anybody.
Okay. Thanks for the answer.
Anytime. Any other thoughts, comments, or questions?
I think we've got about 4 minutes left. Plenty of time for a couple answers.
Once again, I have no name, but I've got somebody that's calling in on Skype, hiding behind anonymous that has a question.
Hey, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Skype.
Hello, Bob. This is Leonard.
Oh, hi, Leonard.
My question is just in regard to Big L's qualifying questions. Are those online somewhere where I can go and...
Leonard, they're not. This was a personal email that Tom sent to me because I was asking questions about questions. So why don't I just very quickly read them again, and then, as you all know, this call is recorded, so you can go back and get the questions, and then you can write them down word for word. Question number 1. Before I begin, I want to make sure I give you the right information about what you want. Are you in the information collecting stage, or do you plan to be starting your business soon? Question number 2. Are you just checking out home-based businesses at this time, or are you interested in starting a business soon so you can start earning checks next month? Question number 3. Have you set a date that you would like to get started earning money in a business? And he ends the email by saying, easy stuff like that. No disrespect to the prospect. It is just what they don't want to be doing, an information dump, when all they really want to do is get started. And we don't want to be pushing them into a business when all they really want to do is collect